Coming to you. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First for the Spurs, Harper and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4. And for Chicago, D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. And down low, the two-time NCAA champion at Florida, the 6'11" tornado of energy and effort. It's the big man, Joakim Noah. Then it's Dang, and it's Boozer in at the 4-man position.
Boy, this is a neat story, guys. Danny Green was undrafted out of North Carolina. And another nice find for perhaps the best organization in all of sports, the San Antonio Spurs. He's an excellent three-point shooter, over 40% from three-point range for his career. He helps that team spread the floor, and that energizes their high-powered offense.
The free throw off from Boozer. And Green, nice versatility, too. Not just an outside shooter.
No, he's an excellent defensive player. In fact, Greg Popovich calls upon him to often guard the opponent's best wing player. So for Green, a two-way player, a guy who can get it done at both ends of the floor.
Here's Boozer. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot.
That's a huge part of what they want to do defensively. Limit his easy chances inside.
And he goes in for the dunk.
Now, this is why the breakaway rim was invented, for plays just like that.
Well, he almost brought the whole thing down, Clark, by hanging on that long.
Yeah, he did.
It was a great dunk and also a great game we've got here.
Now here's Rose. Butler kicks to Boozer. Duncan is there. Butler dishes to Rose. Releases. And again, Chicago. No good.
Offensively, 1 of 4 to start. They're still trying to find their stroke. And the offense, I mean, 3 of 4, a solid start for this game.
For Chicago, they've gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started.
Well, the Bulls battled in last year's postseason. Got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round 1 in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round 2.
Now here's Rose. Can't hit.
The shots aren't dropping yet. They've missed 4 of their first 5 shots.
For San Antonio, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. And it's out of bounds to the Spurs as San Antonio retains possession. I'll go to Doris Burke, who spoke with Tom Thibodeau. Doris?
I asked him about how his team was going to handle the veterans of the Spurs, and he said there really isn't a whole lot that Duncan and them haven't seen, so you can't surprise them one way or another. Really, it comes down to us being as careful with the ball as they are and being efficient in our possessions. Sounds simple enough, gentlemen.
Thank you, Doris. And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time, and they had questions constantly being asked if he would return, but the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin, I mean, desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal Game 1 in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami. You know, something we're seeing less and less of these days, that little finger roll.
Butler kicks to Rose. The dish to Boozer. Dang. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Back to Noah. Dang. He's covered by Leonard. Rose passes to Boozer. The feed to Dang. 5 on the clock. Here's Noah. And it doesn't even draw iron. San Antonio with the ball. They've gone on a 10-2 run, not allowing much. They get it back, and out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession. Bulls trail by 6. Rose kicks to Dang. Pass to Noah. The shot misses. Excellent defense there from Thiago Splitter.
Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what's best for the team. Has a military background, played basketball and studied at the Air Force Academy before serving 5 years in the Air Force. And you know some of the leadership that he brings to his position was learned from his past experiences.
So it's Chicago now. Rose kicks it to Noah. He dishes it to Boozer. It's stolen by Duncan. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Leonard. And it's good in the assist by Parker. Parker's got assist number 5 here tonight.
And at 4 or 5 now, a nice start. I mean, he looks ready to make an impact offensively. So far, so good.
And Clark, you mentioned Pop's time at the Air Force Academy. That's where he got his start in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, 6 years as an assistant there. He was head coach at Pomona, an assistant coach with both the Warriors and the Spurs, and eventually moved into the front office in San Antonio. But wow, what an amazing run it's been for him. 17 years as the head coach of the Spurs.
Here's Green after the made shot from Joakim Noah. Leonard kicks to Splitter. Can't cash in from close range. Bulls trail by 6. Dang attacking. Rejected by Leonard. 1:14 left in the first. And stolen by Butler. Here's Rose. The fast break ends at the rim of the jam.
Seems to me that anytime the game is on the line, he's perfectly willing to be the hero, or the GOAT for that matter. And that's what it takes to be clutch in big situations. You can't be afraid to fail.
And also, he's one of those guys who can cover 94 feet in the blink of an eye, and often does, with or without help on the break.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. And it's Ginobili in for Kawhi Leonard. Now here's Heinrich. Dang dishes to Gibson. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. We'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Well, he earned that one. He took the hit and still found a way to knock it down.
Yeah, fantastic body control. And the will to get it done. You like that focus. Well, Luol Deng, originally from South Sudan, his family moved to London when he was a teen, and then for him, on to the United States, a worldly player for sure, and he's been involved in a lot of causes, both here in the U.S. and internationally.
Now Deng. Diaw missing on the 3. Out of bounds, Bulls ball. Chicago keeps possession. 32 seconds left to play here in the first. Butler kicks to Dunleavy. Passes it to Gibson. Can't tie it up as that one's no good. The Spurs have gone 7 of 12 from the field here in the first quarter. Parker passes to Bonner. Back to Parker. Kicks to Ginobili. The 3. And it's Chicago with the rebound. For 3, Heinrich. Can't get it to go. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here at Doris Burke. Doris?
Gentlemen, last season it seemed there was a little back and forth between head coach Tom Thibodeau and the Bulls front office regarding the big minutes he gave his starters. Thibodeau said, quote, "It's never the right amount of minutes. That's the only thing I know. If a guy's not playing big minutes, it's not enough minutes. Then if a guy's playing big minutes, it's too many minutes. So you play to win. That's the whole thing. And when you're a young team, guys can handle minutes." But guys, both Deng and Noah missed significant time. Noah only playing 66 games in the regular season. Deng out through the last 7 games of the playoffs. You wonder if maybe they have a point.
They've worked to round out the roster, Doris. That should help those minutes stay down. Back to Butler. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players. Have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
Tim Duncan, he's checked in for San Antonio. Now here's Gibson, following the miss by Tony Parker. Rose dishes to Gibson. Back to Rose. Heinrich outside. Pass to Gibson. He kicks to Dunleavy. Just 5 to shoot. Dang, covered by Duncan. Back to Dang. Fires from deep. Rebounded by the Spurs. And they're running. And Duncan throws it down.
I'd say that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, it sure did. A good job getting it started and a better job finishing it off.
Now here's Dang. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Heinrich. Now the pass to Rose. Feeds to Gibson. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Ginobili on the wing. He passes to Bellinelli. He feeds it to Parker. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Parker's got 6 points.
Now we're really seeing him pound that ball inside.
Total offensive dominance in the lane. That's 6 consecutive points coming in the paint.
A different look now for San Antonio. Splitter comes in for Boris Diaw. And Kawhi Leonard subbed in for Manu Ginobili.
Tony Parker had a phenomenal 2011-2012 campaign, but as is the case with Greg Popovich, he challenged Parker to improve upon that for last season. Popovich told him, good players can be great for a little bit, but great players are always great. And that really resonated with Parker.
Boy, we don't see that too often. No defender on him, and he just clanks the open jumper.
In low to Boozer. Dishes it to Dunleavy. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Duncan.
Come get it, come get it.
Green against Boozer. Out to Parker. Here's Splitter. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2. Splitter's got his first bucket of the night. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Spurs.
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
They also came out of the locker room with their running shoes on. I mean, their transition game has been full throttle.
Think about how great Parker's been. We forgot his career almost came to an end in the summer of 2012. This is a very interesting part in his career.
That's right. He was an innocent bystander at a club in New York when a melee erupted and bottles were thrown. He got a shard of glass that penetrated almost through his left eye. Very easily could have lost his vision and lost his career. You know, he's not the most flashy point guard out there, and you don't hear his name when people talk about the best point guards in the game, but I think Parker is one of the best in the business when it comes right down to it. He's able to do so many things out there for you, and just had a dominant season for the Spurs a year ago.
Steve, Parker's fearlessness going to the hoop is what makes him such a devastating player in crunch time. Often you'll see him go right into a bigger guy, take the contact, and still find a way to finish the play. A dramatic improvement for the San Antonio Spurs defensively last season, guys. Coach Pop had suggested that they might have gotten too old to be an elite defensive team anymore, but that wasn't the case. I think he challenged them a little bit, and they raised the bar of their defensive performance.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Guys, Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs' highest draft pick since Tim Duncan, and he's been a starter from his first game in the NBA. Coach Popovich says he's really a special player at both ends of the court. And what makes me so confident about him is that he wants it so badly. He comes early, he stays late, and he's coachable. I think he's going to be a star and the face of the Spurs. Big praise from a coach not known for hyperbole, guys.
Well, Doris, it's hard to put a ceiling on him. He does have star potential. And again, no good by Chicago. And Clark, you mentioned the defensive improvement of the Spurs. Going into last season, their stat gurus told them they needed to focus even more on contesting shots, even if that meant committing more fouls or allowing more offensive rebounds.
Well, and that's exactly what they did, Kevin. They gave up a few more offensive rebounds, fouled slightly more than they had the prior season, but they were better in terms of shot blocks, steals, and they held their opponents to a lower field goal percentage. So a great example of getting an edge from advanced stats.
Here's Boozer. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. Heinrich outside. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Just 5 on the clock. Gets it to go. Boozer's got his second basket of the night.
What a finish with that hoop.
Parker outside. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Seems like every year, guys, you look at Tony Parker and he's found something else to add to his game. He's always improving.
Last season for Tony Parker, arguably his best ever. 20 points a game, almost 8 assists. 52% Steve from the field. And there was even talk at midseason about maybe MVP consideration.
Well, his ability to score inside around the rim is amazing, but he's also become a master of knocking down the jump shot from that 15 to 18-foot range. But really, this team has been built now around Parker. Their offensive strategy completely tailored to suit his talents.
Rose, covered by Parker. And the call will be against Tony Parker. That's his first foul. The drive by Boozer. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Boozer's got 4 points this quarter.
Excellent communication on the inbound play there, guys. He got in a good position, and the pass was as it needed to be, on time and on target.
Now here's Parker. He's got 13. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Parker's got 15 points.
Just seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. That's 5 buckets in a row for them in the paint.
Yeah, on the flip side, Steve, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior.
And a fast break now for the Spurs. Green, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark Power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair. It's the Spurs.